Welcome back, Mystics. Today we have a fun, exciting guest. I'm so excited to introduce you guys to Kendall at Valaterra. A lot of my in-person people know that I do like a monthly energy healing circle. It's sort of like a free community event every month at Valaterra. And so I thought it would be cool to get Kendall out here, hear the story of Valaterra, because it's a really beautiful collaboration. And yeah, we just need to talk about it more. It's so fun.
Well, hi.
Hi.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
I'm excited to be here today.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm Kendall Perkins. I'm the marketing manager for Valaterra.
And she does more than just marketing, y'all. She's a genuine descriptor would be like the captain of the ship at Valaterra.
I would say the chief engineer.
Okay, yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I'm running the show.
Mm-hmm.
I like to be behind the scenes. I definitely don't want to be on stage.
Oh, you give those tours and you light up. Okay, you are so fabulous when you're giving those tours.
Well, thank you. I like to think that maybe Valerie's kind of helping me potentially.
She's channeling. Okay.
Well, we gotta touch on that.
Uh-huh.
But no, I mean, yes. Okay. So I do it all. I do the rentals. I do all the marketing, social media.
She does the tours.
I do tours. I communicate with anybody interested in seeing the space, renting the space, or potentially partnering together. So let's go back. Valaterra.
Okay.
Valaterra is a beautiful space, large square footage house on over 100 acres in Lagrange, tucked in like 393.
So like rural Kentucky, because we've got listeners that aren't in Kentucky. So Lagrange is like pretty, I mean, it's not as rural as other spaces, but it's very rural.
Yes.
So.
Farmlands. Yes. Mm-hmm. There's like a neighborhood, like an official neighborhood close, but it's mostly you're driving up farm mailbox after farm mailbox after farm mailbox. But so yeah, the space, we have over 100 acres, and it's a beautiful kind of mission-driven event space. Mm-hmm. Currently, we love to work with anyone really that wants to take advantage of a beautiful place to connect. Whatever you want to connect with, that's up to you. Space, land, each other, crystals, energy. But we have a beautiful facility to host any practitioner or corporate retreat where you can just be, I guess, ... The website tagline is come out and reconnect with what's important to you. Mm-hmm. And I think out there, you remove a lot of the city and the lights and the TVs and the social media, and it's just a beautiful space to connect with something, especially in this time, in this area of town, in this current state of our world. It's just this large, but small little pocket of peace and magic.
It is a big house.
Yes.
And there's obviously like 100 acres that you're on, but it does feel sort of like this like little nest or like this tiny little, I always think of when my dog, like you get a puppy and they're like, oh no, not the crate. But then eventually they like love the crate. And so, yeah, I go there and I'm like, oh, I just love this place. It just feels so comfortable. It feels so safe. And you can definitely tell there's energy there that is sort of harboring or fostering these connections that you are kind of helping us make. So when I go out there, I don't think I've really ever posted any pictures other than the basement, which is not, you don't call it the basement. You call it the first floor.
What's the first floor?
It's not a basement. I just call it the basement because you go downstairs to get there. But it's like this beautiful tiled open area. You could set up tables. But for me, I just set up my circle. I have like a little ceremonial circle cloth thingy that I put in the middle. And last time I had little candles and vibes, and I'll put pillows around the circle and we just kind of chill there. But yeah, so the only pictures I've really ever posted on my socials is the first floor.
Yeah. So note to self, we need to work on the pictures for Thursday.
Yeah, we got to get some better branding. Hopefully by the time this comes out, you guys have seen the first floor, the second floor, the third floor, the front porch, the back porch.
Well, hopefully the new website launch here soon is going to give you a better understanding of what you get out there.
Yeah. Okay. By the time that this podcast is posted, you will have launched your website.
Sweet.
Yeah, because it'll be a couple months. I got a long turnaround time.
Go to www.valaterra.org and take a tour.
Did you hear that radio voice, folks? www.
Yeah. So yeah, but I want to go back because you talked about when you get there, this energy, this connection,
so
this
nice.
kind of magical feeling that you have. So the story of Valaterra, it is managed, run, supported by the Young Family Foundation. The Young Family Foundation was created by and for Valerie Young. The space, the land, the house was supposed to be her primary residence. Now, she did heal and work on the land in the original house, but she was kind of building her dream house when she was diagnosed with terminal cancer. And kind of through this and discussions with some of her friends prior to this, she wanted to create a legacy. What am I going to leave behind? I do think that a lot of us empath type of people and connection type of people think about the much bigger picture and what type of footprint do you want to leave? And that was a really important to her, especially having the land that she had and the energy that she had and the healing that she had. So she would do any type of, whether it would be shaman or music therapy. She had a way to connect with other humans and help them on their journey. And so for her to have this space and then for her, unfortunately, to pass away and leave this kind of incredible legacy, she's definitely woven in everything that's out there. And so I feel like you walk through the house and she is there. She created it clearly. It's got her personal touches from the faucets to the ironwork of Caviar Forge to the choices of reclaimed wood and, the aesthetic. It's all her. And so you come inside and it's this, you're connecting to something way bigger than you. It's not just a room. It's not just a house. It's not just land. And so I think that part of that legacy that she couldn't see, maybe she did see ahead of time, which would be incredible. But I think she's there.
Absolutely.
And so whether you choose to come out with a group of women and do a retreat weekend where you're going to meditate and you're going to do yoga and you're going to do some silent work and breath work or you're going to bring your staff out for more of a corporate retreat and you're going to play cornhole in the yard and walk the trails and do some team building, it's just a little bit bigger than you.
Like a little bit nurtured.
Yeah. And so I feel like when you're out there, no matter kind of what you're looking for, you get it because it's just way bigger than you or what you can control or what you ask for. It's just there. So I think that's the experience that's hard to put on a website or a picture of what you're going to get when you come out there, because I love giving tours. It's my favorite. Because the second that someone walks in there for the first time, I like to say I've got all these like taglines, but you can't unsee it. When you're out there and you wander through that property or you wander on the land, even in the driveway, over by the barn, it becomes a part of you. And then you're constantly thinking of all of the, oopsie, the first time I did it. we touched
the karate chopping has begun.
I don't talk with my hands. Sorry.
No, you're good.
So
happens to everyone. It's going to happen again. So.
Yeah. So I think it's just bigger than you are. It just takes a hold of you. And so anything you want to do, it just becomes bigger. And then, if you're going to, however you want to use the property, the potential, you've got these people sitting there, okay, well, here was my agenda, but oh my gosh, I could do this and I could do this. And so it's really cool giving a tour to watch it kind of ooze into you.
It's like it bites you or something. I wish
In
I
a
could
good
come
way.
up with some. Seriously, my metaphors are horrible. I'm like, it's like a dog crate, guys. I'm like, it bites you. Come hang out at Valaterra, the dog crate that will bite you. No, that they're horrible metaphors, but it's like some kind of like you catch a fever or something and you need more Valaterra.
Yeah.
I got a fever.
Yeah.
And the prescription is clearly more Valaterra.
Yeah. And I'm trying to do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So. Well, I mean, I guess you're the marketer. But I mean, to market a product like that markets itself. So
it's difficult. We actually did, we had a board meeting last week and did some numbers, and the math isn't mathing and this kind of thing. And I see these things, but to understand, some of the bottom line and what as you well know, we've gone through a little bit of a cool cathartic period where we've kind of redone some things. We've redid some flooring and kind of updated some things. It's time to nurture the space a little bit. And, but that the attention and the revenue really succeeds the maintenance. I thought, golly, Ned, like how cool, everybody wants to be out here. And it's so great because I want everybody to be out here too. And it's like, from a business perspective, it's really lovely to see that there are so many people in this community supporting our mission as we support theirs. It's cool. Super cool.
Yeah. So, okay, let's pivot just a bit and talk about our relationship. So I had actually never come across any of your marketing. I had, I've been living in Lagrange.
That's not surprising to me.
Well, yeah. So I am a business owner, but I think almost because I'm a business owner, I don't really receive marketing in the way that normal humans receive marketing. So I'll see, like, you got to be really good at marketing to get me to buy your product. So if it had just said, oh, here's this, I would have been like, okay, another ad or something, and so it was definitely some kind of like universal thing. I saw another local healer advertising that they had a retreat at Valaterra, and I was like kind of looking into what their retreat space was like, and I was like, what? It's in Lagrange? That's my neck of the woods. They stole my retreat center? Because I was looking hardcore for a place to host my my free energy healing events, and I was thinking of the library. I was looking for yoga studios, and I was just kind of coming up dry. And the volunteer efforts that I did were also just like dead ends. I tried to get in touch with the Trimble County Library, which is kind of close to where I live, to see if they wanted to host like a free energy healing event. I wanted to get in touch with the Oldham County Library, and I reached out, but every time it would be like, oh, the person's not here, you're gonna have to call back. I'm like, do you think I called back? No, I didn't call back because it was on my to-do list and I checked it off the to-do list and it never made it back on the to-do list. So I saw another healer post and I was just like, oh my gosh, like, I wonder if they would want me there. I wonder how much it would cost. I wonder what the actual like mechanics of that relationship would look like. And so I go to their website and they offer this grace program, which is for healers who want to connect their medicine, but either aren't going to charge like me or can't really afford to charge. Could you expand on your grace program, please?
I mean, that's pretty good.
Okay, cool.
No. I want to expand, but no, that's good.
Next subject. I checked that off the box.
Yes. So part of our mission, creating a space for you to connect, is removing any financial barrier that you might have to connect. So whether it be a nonprofit or a practitioner starting out, or a community group trying to host something, have something, create something, and not really having the open doors that you might think you would. If you're like, well, I'm going to do something really, really cool and everyone's going to open their door for you. It doesn't really work like that.
It doesn't. Oh my gosh.
Right?
It doesn't.
And so I think there shouldn't be a financial barrier for someone needing something, needing to connect, needing to re-energize, needing to heal, needing to release trauma. So I think overall, part of our mission is to make sure that, number one, if you need this space, it's available to you. But number two, if you want to come out and we want to create a relationship and a partnership and move forward, how can I support you as a practitioner as you grow in your own space? And so, you know, you and I have talked a lot like this. How are we going to not go off on 19 different subject matters? But that organic growth, I think, in business all ties back into just human connection. And so I think that's what Valerie loved, and that's what this space is. And if you're willing, if you're open and you're willing to come and connect with us, we want you to. And so the Grace program was kind of designed to be somewhat of a financial application, and you tell us why you can't afford it, or that it wasn't in your budget, but you need to do this, or Valaterra is the one missing piece of the puzzle that you have with your nonprofit that's just going to help and support and love everybody in that community, or you're going to bring a whole bunch of disenfranchised souls out because you just want them to feel a little bit better. I don't want to be the barrier for you not being able to come out and do something good. So I think that's kind of where that Grace program is. We do intend to elaborate it. We do intend to get a little bit more robust in our application and the people we partner with in that regard. But
You think I'll make the cut?
Yeah.
Phew.
But
because my application was, I just emailed you. I don't think you had. Well, you're working on that website. Yeah. They
currently
shifted
still
their website, guys.
the way. But it does say, and a lot of people that come to me and ask about the Grace program, someone's likely told them, hey, dig around on that current site. There's some information there. And again, this new website, there's going to be a lot more depth to all of the things that we do, because it's hard to communicate all of the things that we do, who we partner with, what we like to do, who we like to have out, what events we have going on personally too. So I think that will come.
Yeah.
But the Grace program is a way to.
Yeah. I mean, if you didn't have it, I might not have been like confident enough to reach out. Well, maybe. Sometimes I'll get this just weird confidence where I'm just like, I'm here, everyone. But yeah, if it hadn't been there, I wouldn't have been like, okay, this really could be a good container for my medicine.
Yeah.
So I feel like we met back in like May, maybe.
Yeah.
April, May. And decided, well, okay, so I'll rewind a little bit. I was looking for a place to do free stuff, right? I was shifting out of only virtual. I still do virtual. I love my virtual besties. But I was shifting out of doing like only virtual and really opening the doors, so to speak, to having in-person clientele. So I was needing in-person connection and really wanted to practice my medicine in a low risk way, right? Like, so I wanted to be able to do group stuff. I wanted to be able to really feel how the channeling felt in person, feel how easy and fluid the connection was for me. And so my first thought was I would go volunteer at the women's prison, which that's so my energy. I'm like, let's go and do the most hard thing ever.
Yeah, but that's big work.
Yeah. So I was going to go do
really big there.
Yeah, I was going to go do like a monthly, I was going to sort of teach them energy medicine And I wasn't going to do like hands-on healing or anything. There's lots of rules when you go to the women's prison, obviously. But I was just thinking about like where the most hopeless place would be and like how I could go and like shine a light in the most hopeless place that there is. So I was like, I'm going to go to the women's prison. And so I went through this extensive application process where I'm filling out paper after paper after paper after paper and, emailing and mailing and just talking to all these people. And then I talked to the warden, who was a member of it wasn't the warden. Sorry.
The chaplain.
The chaplain. Yeah. Like the prison chaplain. And they were clergy. They were like evangelical Christian, which I mean, I'm assuming, but after I told them what I did and how I did it, they were like, oh, well, you know what? We're going to get back to you. Yeah. And click, never heard anything ever again. Even though I emailed, never heard anything. And so that door just got really closed pretty promptly. And then the polar opposite, kind of wanders into my aura and Valaterra, the most beautiful healing space that there ever could be. And now we doing the healing thing, guys. So started out at the women's prison, started out trying to do that. And I ended up at Valaterra. And I think it's just so funny how, I don't know, like serendipity. There's just a lot of like, you open yourself up to potential. You open yourself up to the possibility of, generosity and opening your medicine, doing your medicine, and like dominoes, things just sort of fall into place. Things happen that will direct your path and direct you where you need to go. And so this would be my, let's see, it's December right now. This will probably air in like February, March, and it's December. And so I think we missed October and maybe September, but we had June. Oh, I got a leak. Daggone it. I don't know.
We have to pause.
Hold, please. Okay, yeah. We started in June, and then we had to take a couple months off because of the tile drama. And
that maintenance.
Yeah, you got to do it. You got to do it. Otherwise, your window will start leaking in the middle of a podcast.
Yeah.
Like it just did.
Well, what's crazy? Talk about these serendipitous things. Yes, I was out there in the solarium and water is dripping down from one of the beams halfway across the room.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, I don't even know what to do, who to call. Yeah. And then one of the board members was out there and she was like, I just want to cry. And I was like, honestly, it's all right.
Yeah. It would probably make me want to cry too. There's something weird about I know that spaces will be like entropy. Like that's sort of the point. Like entropy is the human experience. But man, when things break, it's so emotional.
Yeah. Well, because of all of the things you have to do to fix it.
Yeah. It's like you're walking uphill trying to get all this stuff fixed.
We had to kind of shut down a little bit. Well, we had to pivot. We didn't completely shut down, but I had to close the sunroom for almost. And
that's like one of my favorite parts of the whole house.
Everybody's favorite part.
Yeah.
It's the room of windows.
There's so many windows.
And you're up kind of high, so you're sitting on this tree line. Mm-hmm. And it's a huge room, so it's not like some tiny little tree house. It's a large living room.
Yeah.
With an incredible view. Everybody wants to be out there. And for that to be able to be closed.
Yeah, sorry, your main feature.
That's a cool marketing challenge. We'll check that box.
For sure. Yeah.
Come out, rent the space without the most
for marketing experience.
Yes.
That's what that was.
Yes. Yeah, I've moved a tree.
Okay.
A tree fell. I've moved a tree out of the way. I had to partially move it with my car because it's like you're looking around. Where are all the big men with axes when you need help?
Where is Paul Bunyan when you need
help? Or a Yeti or something. Nothing. And so I'm like, guess who gets to do this? Me. I'm like, wow, this is an incredible resume booster right here, folks. Mm-hmm. I've officially kind of cut down, moved this tree out of the street. Of course, I had to document, take pictures, and tell everybody.
I'll be getting that footage for my Instagram.
Yep. I think it made up the gram that day.
Yeah, the reels and the story. It'll definitely make it to the feed for sure.
Yeah. So anyways, okay. So we have digressed, which
Yeah.
we will do. We were doing so good.
Well, yeah, and then we had to pause for a moment because the window started leaking. Entropy.
Well, you know what?
So much to fix.
Speaking of the time that the water was coming through the solarium ceiling, I had a friend of mine out who's a photographer, and he was kind of coming to scout the space. And with myself and one of my board members out, we were both kind of like very stressed by the situation. There's water coming in the middle of the room. I'm dragging a trash can from the garage out, like where there's tarps, we're moving furniture. Like it's a big deal. And he looked at both of us and he said so calmly, "Don't worry." He goes, "These are just Mother Nature's tears. She's just crying about something. It's okay. She'll get over it soon."
Nice.
And I was like,
okay. There's a reframe.
Whoa, okay. Yeah. At this space, at this time, at this moment, that's what you choose to say to me?
Yeah.
Again, it's all woven in.
I don't feel like I think I follow your photographer on the drone photographer.
Well, this is a different one.
Okay,
so this was a buddy of mine. It didn't work out long term. I love him dearly. He's a videographer is what his main job is. He did my wedding. Okay. But he's not a wedding photographer. Like he's just he has a way of capturing something through a lens. Nice. And so I just said, "Come out, check the space out." We didn't end up working together. And so then I kind of was a little desperate and found the lovely Andrew.
Oh yeah.
KY drone guy.
Drone guy. Yeah.
Gosh, he's so good. And talk about the way, again, this human connection, how you're weaving together. He is such an incredible human. I'm so lucky to know him. And I wouldn't have known him without the stress, without the needing a photographer. It just, it kind of...
Oh, yeah. And we have our own little backstory of stress, which we won't get into. But...
well, we do need to go back to your first day.
Oh, yeah.
That's what we want to
talk. That is what we wanted to talk about. But it's so interesting how, like, our personal connections sort of led us to one another. And, like, our personal connections and our needs, the stressors that we went through kind of, like, propelled us into... relationship. And I love it that way. I love it that way. It really is an opportunity for us to constantly evaluate these, things that we consider like annoyances or like, like inconveniences or, misalignments. And we can really shift everything into this very positive, framework of opportunity. So yeah. Okay. So, the very first time I did Haven, which is what I call my little free energy healing event. So it's June and I'm doing Haven, and it's the very first time I'm doing Haven. And so I'm a little nervous about it. I'm confident in my skills. I'm confident in my ability as a practitioner, but I've never had 10 people in a room before. I've never, offered healing in quantity. I had to market it and get it filled. And it's really hard to get people to do free stuff, just from like a business perspective. And also like, I wasn't really marketing myself very well as an energy healer. I was still trying to like pivot and really kind of come into my power as an energy healer. And so, my marketing wasn't very clear and just, a little bit of insecurity. And so, the backdrop of this is that I have been doing free stuff for my entire life. I have a history of organized religious experience like that. I was in church forever, and people in church volunteer in church. And so I had been volunteering until I was blue in the face. And so I started this business, and I'm kind of like recovering from all of that exploitation. It wasn't a freedom of volunteering. It was exploitation is what it was in a lot of ways. There was a lot of like energy where if you don't, okay, you're not necessarily a very good religious person. And so for me, I was really trying to heal my relationship with this sort of volunteer or generous energy. And I had to get it from where it felt like an obligation, like, oh, I have to do this to be a good person, to really a very pure expression of, I want to offer my gifts to the world in an accessible way. I want to introduce people to energy medicine in an accessible way. And so the entire time we're like working together, we're creating this evening of community energy healing. I've got that healing sort of taking place. It's like actively shifting, and I'm really making sure that this is genuine. I'm making sure I'm detached from the results. I'm making sure there's no strings attached. I'm making sure that I'm not going into it like, am I a good person? Yep. See all these things that I did. See all this energy healing I did for free. Oh, that makes me a good person. And so that whole time that I'm like marching towards this evening, that's what I'm doing. The other backdrop would be my husband he's been the breadwinner of our family for a pretty long time. I had a business and I sold the business about 9 years ago. And he has sort of just supported us with his construction. He's got his own business doing interior trim carpentry, and he's a subcontractor. And so he works for builders. And so he'll do a house and we'll get a big paycheck. Then he'll do another house and we'll get a big paycheck. And it's usually like feast or famine. And we've really adapted well to it. We can handle it, and we have, strategies for like when it is famine, when he, takes a long time to do a house for whatever reason, because the drywaller did this or the painter did that or the concrete guy was there and he couldn't go to work. And we've been doing this for years. And earlier this year, we hit this patch where we were just really freaking poor. I mean, like really poor. And it was this extended long-term experience where we were like, fine, we were doing our thing. I even got like a new dog, like I got a new puppy, because we were doing so well. And we had savings, we had everything we needed. And then all of the sudden, it's just like just dry, just a complete desert of no money from him. And so we're basically living off of what I was doing. And at the time, just not still trying to learn how to be a really good business owner, learn how to market myself, learn how to find clients. And we were just broke. I mean, I was like going, it's the weirdest thing. It's just such an interesting energy, because I know now, looking back, and I'm sitting pretty well financially right now. I know now that it was like this sort of like death throw, and like me making sure that I had this like real detachment from finances, and making sure that I was able to get as much space from needing money to have my sense of security, have my sense of safety. And so the morning of this free event that I was doing, that I was really working hard to make sure that I was detached from, really making sure I was doing a good job, just offering myself, offering my gifts, I ended up at it was like this free food drive. And I haven't really, in my adult life, I haven't ever been so poor that I needed to accept generosity in that way. Never been to like a food pantry. I've never needed to, access that type of generosity. And so I'm sitting there making sure that my free vibes were right. And I'm in this line of cars receiving free food for the week and free money for groceries. And I'm just like, it was like the guys were like, do you see what's happening here? Do you see what's happening here? And I'm like, you guys. It was such an interesting and intense moment in time where I had the opportunity to experience the free from the other end. And it was a gift. It was a gift. It was such a hard time in my life. And I hope I don't get that poor again, but I mean, who knows? But I got to experience receiving generosity and allowing myself to like identify with someone who needs something. And then I got to go that evening and like sit in this group of women who showed up and offer my medicine in the same spirit, right? The most beautiful thing about this free lunch line was that there was like no strings attached. Not a single string. I show up, I'm expecting to have to like write my name down, write my email down, get a religious tract or, you know, something like that. But no, I rolled down my window. They put in the box of food. They handed me the gift card. They didn't even want my name. They just gave me something for free. Mm-hmm. And I rode off. And so it was in that same energy that I was able to just like really embody the energy, what I was trying to accomplish with the evening. Right. And the thing is that this is a way for me to make connection and for me to find clients. But anything that I do for free now has a completely different energy to it than it may have than when I was, you know, whether I was in church or whether I was like early in my business where I was like, here's this free thing. Now what can you do for me? Right. Like I'm just detached. I'm willing to give if that's what you need. I'm willing to receive if that's what I need. And there's no judgment. There's no strings attached. There's no, you have to sign up for this if you're going to get this for free. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So yeah, it was a beautiful experience. And I mean, the freaking container I got to do it in, gosh, Valaterra is just I just love it so much.
Well, the free component, I mean, nothing's really free, right?
Yeah.
It's always at a cost or something somewhere down the way. But you having this kind of full spectrum day.
Oh, I know.
You're going to go from one to the other. And I think that's what's so cool, well, about you in particular. And you and I are, like I said earlier, just scratching the surface of our friendship and partnership and what we can do. But I think that's such an incredible gift or place or someone or something putting you in a moment. Mm-hmm. And there are likely other things at play where in one day you can go from A to Z and have the ability to see it.
Oh, yeah.
Like, how lucky are you in this life that you can actually see what that particular day gave to you? Now, not to mention what you might have done for me or the 12 folks downstairs or what they then go out and do for somebody else. So it's like, it's just this, what's the word you said? A human connection. It's just, that's what life is really actually about. Mm-hmm. And I think if you do it and you get it and you experience it, then all the other things are going to come.
Oh yeah. It's like you kind of or you like push the first domino.
Yeah.
And then the rest is this like stepstone of the pathway. Yeah. Right. Like that day was such a gift to me. That day will remain a gift to me forever because number one, like it's so like, what are the chances? Mm-hmm. You know, like anytime I have the opportunity to assign meaning to my life in such a profound and impactful way, I'm always like so ecstatic, right? Like the one time that I've like showed up to get assistance because we had blown through our savings and I was trying really hard not to put everything on a credit card. I was trying really hard not to go to my mom and dad and be like, hi guys, I need money. Yeah. Although they would not have judged me at all. They would have given freely. But I was just trying to like stay on top of it, you know, myself, and really got the opportunity to accept that assistance because it was summer and the kids are hungry and my community is really good about making sure the kids stay fed. And I just got that. And it was the one time, you know, here's another thing. The week before I tried to do it and they ran out of boxes before they got to my car. And so that could have been the experience, but it wasn't. And it was the day that I was offering this free thing that I got to experience receiving, and it's just a little like healing vortex that you kind of wander into. And when you wander into those things, having that wherewithal, having the self-awareness and the capacity to self-reflect is a gift.
Mm-hmm. When I don't think I realized kind of how our relationship was going to go. I can remember you coming to tour, but I don't think I kind of understood a little bit more of the depth of what you and I might start to do together. You know, and again, all these pivots we might have in this particular podcast, but the additional things we always talk about outside of this, but this idea of free versus business development versus authenticity. But I think I was just like, gosh, come out here and offer something. The space offers something. You have something to offer. Let's just start getting people out here. And, you know, it's kind of been this slow, cool, organic growth for your business, for Valaterra exposure, but then just you and me. And so, you know, the organic relationship that I have with Valerie and Valaterra, I did not meet her. Her best friend is Rhonda. Rhonda's the current president of the board of the Young Family Foundation, which supports Valaterra. She wanted me out there all the time. Come and see Valaterra. Oh, I can't. I'm busy. I've got kid thing, this, that, whatever. And as I decide to get out into corporate America, I'm going to leave this kind of basic part-time job that I had that was just covering bills. I'm going to kind of go for it again. I'd spent 10 years out of the business. But every interview that I went on was like, well, I don't want to be in that business. I like the business, but I don't want to be that deep into business, quote unquote business. And so the organic growth of me and one of my best friends becomes, she finally is like, are you finally going to come out there? I drive out there. I'm like, oh heavens. Wow. All right. I had heard what she said before, never, you know, reached past the surface. Get out there. Oh my gosh, this is incredible. Why don't you meet with the board? I don't know. This is our friendship we're talking about. I don't know if I want to work for you. Took more time. Finally went in to meet with the board, and it was like, okay, this is exactly where you're supposed to be at this moment in time. Not only do I get to do business, but I get to work for really cool women, a women-run board. Cool.
I haven't met the board yet.
Women, powerful women, sitting in their own power, owning it, honoring it. And for me to work with them and for them to support me as a single mom and see my vision matches the vision they wanted for the last few years. And then for it to organically grow into a full-time job. I get to meet new people. The people that I meet, I get to meet new people. I get to connect. And then meeting you, not realizing that like it's so all woven together. And you're supposed to be where you're supposed to be, coming to me that day and a month or two prior with your pregnant friend.
I know.
Yes, and like the baby was going crazy the whole time. Do you remember this?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like having that experience of just meeting new people and their reaction to the space.
I mean, she was like my support bestie, which she's been on the podcast. She was the very first episode.
Nice.
And the original plan was for it just to be me and her on the podcast, and we just like sit and talk about things. And it's evolved. She got freaking pregnant. And like had to like step away from the podcast to take care of her baby, which is sort of an inconvenience, but I guess it's okay.
Right? That mothering thing's a real big deal.
Yeah.
You kind of like missed the memo.
So I had such an intense aversion to any kind of like leadership or any kind of like someone being the boss of me after having been spiritually abused at an organized religion for eons. And so I would have been fine on my own, but it was so beautiful and helpful for her to be there with me because we had our discussion and like it was exciting and it was very like this feels right. But then the ego and the memories and the triggers and like this could also be dangerous. This could be risky for me. I could be putting myself in a position to like be judged by people. And so we went out into the labyrinth. You don't even know this. We went to the labyrinth and we're like walking this labyrinth, which is beautiful. It's like at the very front of the property and we're doing this labyrinth and I get to the center of the labyrinth and I'm like, Daniela, I'm just scared. And she's like, oh no, you're scared. And we were able to have this really healing conversation. And it took me a lot less time to find that confidence and kind of bypass the imposter syndrome being able to partner with you and like what all that would entail for me. Because I feel like I kind of intuitively knew that it was going to be something big. I don't know why I was so scared, but I got to the middle of the labyrinth and I was like, I'm so scared. I'm so scared. What if they judge me? What if they boss me around? What if they tell me I'm not good at this? Or, like just being in the energy of more spiritual people. It's just always risky for someone who's been so spiritual abused. So you didn't even know that she was there providing me like emotional support after our meeting. Which just, it seems funny to say. It seems so funny to say.
Well, but that's like
so
part
nice
of it though.
Yeah.
And like, then I'm thinking like, gosh, all the things I don't witness out there,
I know.
the healing and connection and love and energy that I don't even get to see.
Yeah.
Like, gosh, like, I need to pay more attention when I drive up there Monday morning. It's going to knock me
Are they
down.
crying? Oh my gosh, they're crying. There must be something cool going on.
Yeah. Which most people are like, oh, crying is bad. No. Come on out.
Good. You need
Let
to
it
cry,
out.
guys. For sure.
So I think what's cool about you and I is that there's some organic thing happening that we can't explain.
I agree. It's like hard to put we're like, every time we get together,
do we want to hug? Do we want to slumber? Do we want to go on a trip together? Do we want a podcast? Do we want to just
sort of want to run a marathon sometime? I'm not a runner. Like,
well, there's this energy. We have this cool energy between the two of us. And so I didn't quite see that in the beginning, but there was a moment, and it wasn't, and you don't know this.
Oh, secrets being revealed.
I've been keeping some secrets for the podcast. There was a moment where, again, how it all flows, how the world works, how your life fits into it, how this human connection component fits into that, how we all weave and go about our day. Cool, fascinating. I could talk about that all day long. But I like to think about myself and what does it do for me. And I feel like I can sit in moments of good and bad. And like we just went through this moment with you. I feel very lucky to be in a space where you can receive and let go and hear and feel and see things that maybe not everybody else can do. So you come into my life, into the life of Valaterra, and you bring this calm, fun energy to me personally. It's like, we just like, should we run? Should we dance? What are we going to do? And so that was cool, and I enjoy being around you. And then what else can we do? And then we're at a meeting about other things, and you're like kind of coaching me. It was your business coach should be really proud. You were like, no, don't step into that one. Okay, try this. No, don't do that. But it was cute. But fast forward to I needed you to come and do like a little women's circle for me. So I enjoy, from a business development perspective, inviting certain folks out to just experience a space. And while a tour is one way to experience a space, why don't you come out and have lunch with me? Like we did last week. We had a big group out last week. Come and have lunch. Come and sit a minute. Come and slow down and just be offered this magic. And so, of course, I wanted you to be a part of that magic. So we have this woman's lunch, and you're going to do your offering as part of the lunch, kind of part of the agenda or whatever. And I didn't even tell you who these women were. And so you kind of came in with a thought of kind of what you're going to do, and you don't know who you're walking into. And you walk downstairs. And you start, that we get them all downstairs and seated. And you said, I was going to do something, but I'm completely overwhelmed by the energy you guys are bringing to me and the amount of, and you said the word education. And there were the generational something that was coming to you. This group is called the Philanthropic Educational Organization. And again, didn't tell you. These women that were sitting in that room are incredibly educated, doctorates, masters, international studies, the sheer education component that these particular women bring to you. But then there's this huge generational situation that you have going on where a lot of them are mothers and grandmothers and aunts and nieces and, great aunts and things. And so there's this cool female generational thing in there. But like I sat up there at the top of the stairs and heard you say that. And I thought, well, shit, she's the real fucking deal. She actually was open, which you always are when you walk. I feel like you're open when you walk in. That drive up there can really get you open.
Oh, yeah.
The drive up the driveway. But for you to walk into something that you knew nothing about and then to just literally absorb what was staring at you in that room, I thought like, holy cow. Like, I already knew she was cool. Like I already want to be friends with her.
I'm cool.
And a slumber party and run a marathon. But like, oh my gosh. And so I remember just standing at the top of the stairs and thinking to myself, okay, now I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah.
This is something like just the magnitude of being in a moment. And my mom was one of the women downstairs, and and my grandmother was one of the women that joined this group when she was younger, and she's since passed. And my great grandmother was a member, so I joined in my 20s, not really understanding what this group of women is. And so, yeah, like it was kind of a little bit of a full circle moment for me, where you open yourself up, you might try something new. It's nervous, scary always, but like, okay, I'm now doing what I should be doing. I'm sitting in myself and my energy and my abilities and my talents. It's hard to look at yourself and say that you're good at something. I have a way of being able to market things.
She's good at it.
And so, so then it was like, oh my gosh, just selfishly, it was just all about me for a second. And I was like, this is exactly where I'm supposed to be in my journey, not to mention this beautiful space and these incredible women and you and the whole thing. But it was like, okay, all right, check.
Oh, thank God I passed the test. Oh.
But unbeknownst to you, no test.
Backstory would be I had something completely different planned.
When you said it, like you said, you went down there and you said, well, so I had something that I wanted to do, but I'm going to like.
It was just, I didn't really know what I was doing. So I was like, I feel like I'll probably be able to channel and pull it off.
Yeah.
Because I have a way with words. I'm good at talking. The owner of a podcast that literally won't shut up. But I was just sitting there and like feeling the energy, doing my little thing where I'm like marching around the basement all weird, being totally emotional. And I'm like, where is all this emotion coming from? And I felt like it was such a risky thing to pivot towards, because I was really talking about like how what came through was this group of women is being so faithful in their legacy, in ushering the younger generation into their strength and into their power. And I was like, I hope they don't get mad, because there's like the implication that they're like sort of in this later life energy, and I'm like, it could trigger people. A lot of people don't want to hear they're aging or,
Yeah. They're running from it.
Yeah. They're like, 3/4 of the way home. And I was like, this could offend people, but I'm just going to have to send it. I always have to just, you gotta stay faithful.
Yeah.
Right. You gotta
trust
the energy.
The comments afterwards were just like, they're a loving group of women.
Oh my gosh.
Very open, which I love.
I'll never forget. One of them was like, I do that when I'm trying to fall asleep. What you just did, anytime I'm trying to fall asleep, I'll just try and do the same thing that you did. And I'm like, did I help you fall asleep? She's so adorable. Yeah.
Well, it's that thought like, well, okay, so meditation does something for you. Okay, community, let's try that. Now we all want to go to sleep because the world's not so great. Okay, we're going to give you an app to meditate, to go to sleep.
Yeah. So what about if you into mindfulness?
Yeah, mindfulness. What about meditate during the day? Okay, try that. That'll take a break. But the actual, the arc of all of it is just giving your mind the ability and the power it needs to either rest or reset or whatever. But yeah, no, the feedback was so great. They were like, she's just, and I've still had a few people text me, they want your number, things like that. I think that's really cool between you. And then I did have an intentional chef out that day.
Yeah, that was really cool too.
Tamara, who cooked for us as well, cooking with intention. And they were just kind of, I was a little nervous about having this group out and the amount
Well, I mean,
of,
you have like skin in the game. Your mom was there, right? There's nothing like having your mom watch you work that makes you like, am I doing this right?
Yeah, no, my mom was my biggest fan. I'm very lucky
good.
that I have a non-judgmental, 100% supportive. She'll go down any path I lead her.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Unconditional. Yeah.
That's awesome.
And that's cool. Yeah. And we've been through a lot. So like we don't have a choice kind of, but no. So like to hear these women who I already knew you and your abilities, I did, but to hear them say it and to hear other people, a lot of times I think, especially when you're out there, you get the accolades, you hear the accolades. People come up to you afterwards and say, oh God, that was great. Can I get your card? Or gosh, I just saw something I hadn't thought about, or, whatever the feedback you get. I don't often get to hear that.
Feedback, yeah.
And so, so it's kind of cool that I got to hear.
I'm into that.
Yeah.
I'm into that. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
Yeah. So I got to hear cool feedback and thoughts, and then of course my mom's going to give me her honest opinion, which is cool. And oh, Kendall, that was great.
I love your mom.
She's cutie.
Yeah.
And then too, of course, you have to think about all the things in a room. And a lot of these women potentially had hearing aids.
I know.
So like, can we do a sound bowl? No. In that room.
They actually asked me to turn my music down.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh, I did not even think of that. So
yeah. And so I didn't realize kind of the power of that room until I had somebody with sound bowls in there, and I had a few people that couldn't stay.
And
this was kind of
acoustics.
Yeah. The acoustics are incredible in that room. And the reverberation, is that really a word? Like the vibration, but the feedback that you get from other energy in that room, it's pretty kind of big and encapsulating. Is that another word? I could be making up words here.
She loves to make up words.
I do. So I think I was super mindful of that in particular for this particular group. But so it was cute. I don't want to use the word cute because that's not a good word, but it was cool. Like, it was just neat to see these women be open, these generationally experienced women be open to something they might
sort of new.
They might
this is
not
cutting edge. It
Yeah.
makes a lot of people who aren't in that generation, it makes a lot of people uncomfortable.
Well, yeah. And I think too, come out, beautiful space, try something new. But I think when you look back at this, just the sheer age of some of these women and their openness was just so cool to me.
Yeah.
And to be a part of it.
I think that's like a testament to the space, right? Like, I feel like the space just kind of lends itself to openness, which, I mean, I've channeled some intense stuff.
Yeah.
In that area. And, the thing about this medicine, the thing about the work I do is that it does depend on your level of openness and your level of willingness to be seen, your level of willingness to be vulnerable and accept my energy into your own. And so, sometimes the channeling will be like very, very like fluid and open. It'll be super easy. Sometimes I'll have to like sit there a little bit and like ask for some more openness, a little bit more softness. But I've never had anyone that I haven't been able to kind of connect with, and the energy always kind of comes through for us. So I do feel like that space just lends itself to sort of kind of taking the walls down.
Yeah.
Your walls just sort of naturally fall away.
Well, I hope it there's a safety.
Oh yeah, definitely
as well, that where you're in this, let's go back to the dog crate. You're in the safety of this capsule of energy, and you're safe to just be. You're safe to let go. You're safe to.
I think there's a lot
up.
to say about intention, and there's a lot of collective intention and a lot of collective belief around the space, and so with that, we'll sort of, it'll create these little vortexes of safety and intention. And if Valerie is still there operating at a higher dimensional expression, I'm certain that the safety and the security is not only just like inherent because of the space and because of the aesthetic and the vibe, but I guarantee it's energy and a sort of this paranormal type thing, right? It's metaphysical. It's not something that we on the 3D can create. And we have in some ways, right? Like you have created a really beautiful 3-dimensional space, but also
she's just woven. Her spirit's just woven in just about everything in there.
Yeah.
But I think too, you can feel it.
For sure.
And she's...
So one day I'm going to have a retreat out there.
Yeah.
All my listeners. Are you on my email list? Because you'll find out about it there first. Have you liked? Have you shared and subscribed? Are you following us on Facebook, Instagram?
Are you doing the threads?
TikTok? I do threads every once in a while, but they're just silly.
Did it launch? Is it a thing?
I don't know. I don't know if it's launched or not. I know there's people on there.
Yeah. Well, there's a new one too that a friend of mine was like, "You should do this with me." I was like, "Yeah, no."
Gosh, I can't handle another social outlet. Instagram's been pretty.
I have to contract out my TikToks. So
contract out your TikToks.
Well, asking others to do it. Yeah.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
And
I mean, you got drone footage. You could have a TikTok.
Well, yeah. Now
footage.
he's working on that.
Okay.
And so we've got like the larger images, the smaller images. But yeah, we'll be rocking some stuff. Give me 4 months.
Okay.
Was this December? So give me springtime to full on hard launch in that 10-year anniversary, baby.
10-year anniversary. That's what I was just going to
say. Light up.
I know. It was like, springtime.
We've started. Yeah. So we are listeners. Valaterra is approaching our 10-year anniversary. Cool that I still get so many people that haven't heard of us. That means we got a long way to grow, which is cool. But yeah, we're going to have some fun things. We're going to do a spring solstice event. We're going to do a thank you event where anybody who's ever come, you've touched the space, you've heard the space, just come out as we say thank you for the support.
Woohoo.
And spend a little time with us. So we've got that kind of starting to cook.
I'm excited about that spring solstice event.
A little bit. So I'm excited that this is, as you said in the beginning of the podcast, it is just me.
Yeah, for now.
With a super supportive board. But yeah, gonna get a few volunteers to help me out for sure. Cool. But yeah, that's something that's kind of, again, manifesting what you want. Things are going to happen the way that they are, whether you like it or not. Leaning into things happening the way that they are. I've had all these cool ideas. I think I started this job with like a full notebook of ideas, and I'm maybe 1/4 of the way through.
Okay.
And then I have people, "Oh, you should talk to so-and-so." I'm like, "Yeah, she's 9th on my list, but thank you." I'm going to go to number.
Right there.
Yeah. So, okay, that's there, Friday, someone was like, "Oh, I want to introduce you. She should do this." And I'm like, "That sounds great. If you want to run with that, that's great." I've started to get a little bit better.
More discerning, yeah.
Thanks
to
Blaire's support. Yeah, of going, okay, I can't do this right now. I need to do this. This is where my attention lies.
Yeah. My business coach is always like, "You like to make things super complicated in an unnecessary way. Would you like to simplify things?" I'm like, "Yes, please save me from myself."
Yeah.
So yeah, I got my free community healing event in person. I do my free quantum insight sessions. I have a package that I sell. So that's all. That's all I'm doing these days.
Nice.
So and I got my podcast, but I'll be able to make it more complicated once I get the hang of this.
Yeah.
So, but I got to start here.
Yep. I like it. So yeah, so I think, as much as I wanted to launch prior to this current moment in time, coming up on our 10-year anniversary looks like a really nice spot to launch some things. So that gives me a little bit more space to create and then come up with a plan and then do some things. So
yeah, I'm excited. Excited.
So we will see what happens. Follow along.
Yeah, for real. The easiest way to keep in touch with all of the fun events that are going to take place at Valaterra and all of the ways that I collaborate at Valaterra would be to follow us on the socials.
Yeah.
Join the email list. So
yeah, we got that email list quite large at this moment.
Valaterra
Yes. VALATERRA.org. Ladies and gentlemen, follow along. And then we're on Instagram as Valaterra as well, and Facebook. And, you know, with the new website comes a newsletter. Yay. And then comes some things. So yeah, we got a lot of stuff cooking when it's going to come off the pot and be seen in real life.
Yeah, and check the Informal Mystic website, informalmystic.com. There's usually a banner at the top that says, "This is when Haven is." So if you guys want to attend that in-person event at Valaterra, like I said, one day I'll have a retreat there. That's, again, I got to make sure I'm good enough at my simple things before I overcomplicate things.
Yeah.
But yeah, you guys just got to follow along. Just stay in our energy. And this is going to be exciting. It's going to be a really exciting collaboration, a very fun relationship.
Yeah.
I won't actually ever run a marathon with you. I don't run.
I don't either. That's the funny thing that you and I both think about that we want to do together. And neither one of us are runners.
We could just do some
unless
yoga.
You're chasing me, I'm not running.
Yeah, I don't even think I want to do yoga. I want to go back to that restaurant that we went to and eat a burger. So.
Oh, yeah. We've got like 19 things to.
I know.
We should probably maybe add some wine.
Okay, burger, wine.
Yeah.
Like it. I'll probably stick with beer because wine makes me weird, but yeah.
Yeah. No, because I've got like 19 things on that menu I want to try.
I tried their like main event burger. Like it's so gluttonous. It's got like a fried green tomato on it. It's got bacon on it. It's got 3 cheeses and I mean it's like so gluttonous. But for one day I was just like really like feeling kind of down and I wanted something to cheer me up and I was like, I know what'll do it.
That big old burger.
Massive burger. I ate every bite.
Yes.
Yeah. So anyway,
I love it. Well, I love this little community that we're kind of starting here. Like I'm a little bit out of this little main drag right here, but we got a lot of cool peeps.
Yeah. Yeah. Lagrange is good vibes. I'm really excited to make Lagrange more varied in spirituality, right? We've got like 17 churches in this very tiny little area, and the access to spirituality is just limited. We can't even like maintain a yoga studio here.
Yeah.
So we got me back here doing this energy stuff up front in my office building. There is a bookstore / crystal metaphysical shop. They have a paranormal community here that's really thriving.
Yes.
They have Dimensions Radio on the Lagrange Main Street. Yeah, Chris McGill that does the Lagrange Radio. He has it's called Dimensions and he talks about all sorts of weird crap. I've been on there one time.
Yeah. Well, he wants to come out too. Yeah. Do something out at Valaterra. And I think for the longest time in communities, there's just been one lane. Uh-huh. And I don't think that's how the world works. And so I think opening folks up to new forms of communication,
togetherness,
connection. Uh-huh. Yeah, and we get a little pushback, not a ton, but I'm like, just come out and see the space.
Yeah.
Come out and experience what we're actually doing out here, because all we're doing out here is connecting and
healing.
Who
pushes back, and what pushback is that?
Just
what does that
just
mean?
Particular groups that don't necessarily understand what we're doing or assume that we're doing some type of witchcraft or something weird, or calling aliens. Well, we're just hanging.
Yeah, we're chilling.
We're just being. And we're just being peaceful.
If the aliens show up, that's not on you.
No, it's on Chris. No.
Yeah. I mean, we could talk about aliens, girl. I've had some interesting encounters myself, but let's see. That's so interesting that you've gotten kickback. And so as you were kind of talking about that, as you were saying, like, well, these people that just don't understand, I had the thought that the only way that would bother you is if you actually acknowledge that as a vibration or like as an expression. So like, so I guess we could kind of take it back to the free thing, right? Like I'm doing this free stuff and sometimes people will be like, are you afraid that someone will take advantage of you? And I'm like, well, they can only if I'm perceiving that, right? Like, people can't take advantage of me because I am putting out what I do, right? Like, you got this, you got this. And the only way you can take advantage of me is if I even see that as a reality or see that as a possibility. And so if you kind of pull that in as an energy with these people who like don't vibe with what you're doing, the only way that it can even bother you or like ruffle feathers at all, which I don't, you're not saying that's ruffling your feathers. You're not saying it's bothering you, but the only way that it could really bother you is if you allow that to be in your reality, right? Like if they don't even have the chance to express their discomfort at what you're doing, then it's not happening.
Yeah.
So,
well, and two, I think come out and see it for yourself.
Yeah. Try to disagree with it once you experience it.
Well, yeah. So. But then too, maybe you're just not ready. Mm-hmm. And I'll wait for you.
Maybe you're just different vibration. Maybe you have a different life path.
Yeah.
Maybe you're meant to be. I'm not trying to sound judgy, but maybe you're just like meant to be kind of closed this life.
Yeah. Well, that's where I think too. It's like there's just a moment of being lucky. I can't find another word to describe it. There's just not a lot. I have not encountered a lot of significantly lucky people who are just open enough to be able to receive and to understand. And it doesn't matter whether it fits in this particular category or in a Christian category or in a religious or in a Catholic.
It's all energy.
Or all, it's just, it's all about being bigger than you and can you see it? And so if you can't, that's okay. I can.
Yeah.
And if you can't, maybe you will.
Yeah. The invitation's always there.
Yeah.
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 That's my thing. I'll always have an invitation extended. You get to decide if you accept it or not. So.
And if what we're doing out there is bothersome to you, then that's okay too. We're not the place for you, and that's completely okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right. That feels like an excellent closure.
Yeah.
We've extended the invitation. Anyone gets to accept it. Anyone gets to rescind the invitation. There is no judgment. There are no strings attached. We offer openness, and you get to decide if that's what you're here for.
Yeah.
So it will not hurt our feelings if you're not here for it.
And
if you think energy therapy is crazy, if you think energy therapy is cuckooville, I honor and respect that as a life choice.
Yeah.
So if you think Valaterra is shady,
We're not shady.
if you think Valaterra is doing witchcraft, doing the alien thing,
we might.
That's okay. You are allowed to feel that way.
Yeah.
And it won't bother us. So, all right, guys, I feel like we've plugged our shit a lot.
Yeah. Come on out.
Yeah. Come in person. Plug is the best plug that there is. So come see us at Haven. Come see us at the Solstice event, the Solstice event this spring. Come
Email
see
us. Come out for a tour.
Come see us at that. Thank you.
Come have coffee with me. Coffee tastes real different on our patio. Go ahead and tell you.
Yeah, I haven't actually had coffee with you. I'm gonna have to try it. Yeah, with the wine and the cheeseburger.
Yeah. Well, you and I already have a list. We'll just add that to the list. Yeah.
All right. Thank you guys. Tune in. Like, share, save, subscribe. Blah 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 blah. See you guys next time.
Thanks.